So you did everything on your own?
Yeah. And the videos.
Man, I'm proud of you.
All right. So now that we have our nav kind of working, we'll add in the side nav.
Hey Scott, I think your TV.
Something happened.
Channel is different.
It's like the rain's gonna come. The girl's gonna walk out of the TV.
There we go.
Yeah, you keep turning her.
But you can watch my course.
Doesn't do you any good to be sitting closer or looking the other way, man. All right, so the side nav, I don't know off the top of my head, so we'll have to go to materialize. We gotta add a couple classes on the nav so it hides stuff and then shows an icon. So we'll go to components, nav bar, and then mobile collapse button. So what we need then is let's see if this will work with a link. We might need to use I think we can just use an anchor tag actually. So let's just use an anchor tag. Href hashtag. And then we'll do data target. And then this is what the ID of our side nav will be. So we'll give our side nav just an ID of side dash nav. And then it needs a class name of side nav trigger. So we'll do a class name of side nav trigger. And then inside of the anchor tag, we'll do an icon with a class of material dash icons. And it looks like menu is what we want. And we want the UL to hide at a certain size. So there's a class for hiding it. Hide on medium and down. So hide dash on dash medium dash and dash down. That's a very verbose class name. All right, do a quick test. If you still need the code, I will come right back to it. But we should be able to do our side nav, and then if we switch to a mobile view, we didn't load the material icons stuff, obviously. It's working, it's just the icon isn't working. So when we go down like that, it hides everything. The little menu shows up. Oops, not that. So we just see that working like so. So what we need now, before we do that, I'll make sure you guys have that. Anybody still need a second right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was
Good thinking.
Good?
Yep.
All right, so we need the material icons CDN. I'll post it in Slack so you guys don't have to try and find it. So we need that link. And then we need to add it into in the dist folder in the index.html. We need to add it in the head somewhere. So I'm just going to add it up here.
so in the index.
And client and dist.
Oh yeah.
It's the only index.html file in the whole project. There's only one.
Just the one.
Just the one. Once you have that, if we refresh the page, it should turn into a little menu now.
Okay.
And if we go to full screen, it should turn into a regular nav.
That's all you need to do.
But it doesn't work anymore. I did something wrong again.
Make sure you save the file and then refresh the browser.
Yeah, I did.
What is it?
Edit clean tag.
You have get a typo in your I class or your I element.
Which one?
Okay. Okay, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, this one, right. Somewhere in here. href data target.
Pretty much what I need to do for the
href data
desktop
target.
view to have.
Data target.
So how you potentially.
Yeah,
it's
just like
I don't need in the nav. Just so like you'd have like a nav.
I
mean,
guess.
that's here.
Material icon.
We're fixing that.
Material.
We have to see how it kind of, because we have to refactor our entire nav bar.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah.
Icons. Material icon. Icons.
Yep. There's more than one.
No, but that was my fault.
No, I know. I'm with you. I'm gonna do something really quick, guys. I just want to see if it works with the link tag. Just for curiosity, or if it gets mad about the data target thing. Yeah, it did. Oh, link instead of href to. I said, don't do this, guys. I'm just testing it. Oh, it does work. Interesting. Oh, it actually works better because it doesn't add the hashtag.
But it's actually working as.
I don't know. We'll find out. Let's go ahead. You guys change your anchor tag to a link. We might have to change it back, and then change href to 2.
So change now, right?
Yeah, go ahead and change it. Yeah. Just because I don't, the A tag added the hashtag in the URL, and I don't like that. We'll see if it actually works or not. We probably programmatically do it anyways. We'll see. Everybody good? All right, so then the side nav itself,
Why don't like that?
it was a UL that is outside of our nav container. So we're gonna do a couple things. Let's let us. Any benefit to doing that? Yeah, let's go ahead and make a. So in our nav folder, we'll make a new file, and we'll call it side nav. I guess that's 2 words. Side underscore nav.js. And we will import React from React. And we will export defaults. And we will return UL with a class of side nav. What did I do? Oh, fat arrow function. Something is not right here. There we go. And then we need to give it an ID to match what we did our data target, which we did side dash nav, just to keep everything nice and confusing. I want to handle the sign out button differently here. So we'll have to maybe change a couple things, but we'll do the curly brackets, and we'll do props dot render links. We'll call that. And then here we'll do I guess we could use, we'll just use CSS for it. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, so we'll just do that. Yeah, try it. Well, this needed to be its own component, but if we ever wanted to do more stuff in it, it keeps it isolated. Everybody good?
Yes.
All right, so we'll jump over back to nav.js. and we will import side nav from this directory side nav. And then while we're up here importing stuff, we'll also pull out fragment from React. And then there we go with the imports. All right. Then down in our render of nav.js, we'll wrap everything in a fragment. And then below our nav, we'll do side nav. And then we need to pass it in. We'll say render links is equal to curly brackets, this dot render links. We might need to bind it.
Right now.
And then I think the last thing we have to do is initialize it. So let's save that. So I don't think it'll. Oh, we got errors. Errors. Probably the binding issue. Parent property off undefined nav.js 56. Yeah, so in our render links, we need to turn this into a static property and set it to a fat arrow function, like so.
And why did you not need to do that before, but now that we do?
Because now we're passing it into, now it's being used in a different component. So when that other component calls it, it loses its reference to this.
Gotcha. Which one you change it?
Render links.
Hey.
Oops.
Thank you very much.
We didn't test our button either. No, it's not output.
So site nav is working already?
No, it's not working yet. All right, everybody good? I said the side nav is not actually working yet, so.
I'm getting here for another typo saying that it's
Yeah. Look at where it's saying the error is.
Yeah, being done over there. So scroll down. Yeah, you forgot the closing on the side now. So then it just rendering.
Oh.
Yeah. Where
Oh, the slashing. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Got it.
All right, so I think we have to initialize the side nav. So we'll go to components, JavaScript, side nav. And then we gotta do some initialization.
Hey, Scott.
Yes.
How do you know that you had to go to that? Like on the last area you were on for the hamburger menu, was it saying you need to initialize it? Go to the.
Just from doing this before.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I remember the first time it was a pain in the ass to figure out like the, because like in one place it tells you how to like build everything.
Yeah.
And then here's how it tells you to actually make it work. But I mean, if you just found side nav, it tells you up here like, okay, you have to have your nav and then all your nav bar content. Then under it is the UL that's the side nav. And then if you scroll down, and pretty much the majority of everything that's under the JavaScript tab has some kind of initialization.
So it's better to search for things in JavaScript.
Well, you just from using it, you'll learn more shit's at. All right, so now what we need is we need to create a reference to our side nav. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know this is going to cause an issue, and I forgot how I solved that last time. No, I know how to use ref, but just getting the ref from the child to the parent properly. Well, let's just try this. Let's do are you guys having trouble or?
Yeah, I'm close to figuring it out.
Okay. All right. So in Nav.js, we'll do. I'm gonna have to play around with this for a second because I know there's an issue if it's not done right. So we're gonna make a little method in Nav.js called get side nav ref. That should ultimately get the element passed to it. And then we'll do console.log side nav ref. And we'll just console log the element, see if we get it.
You haven't put that JavaScript initialization anyway yet, right?
No, we gotta create a ref to the side nav before we could do that.
No. Yeah.
I guess we could have just done it in the side nav code instead of doing it here. I guess it doesn't really matter where we do it. Yeah, let's not fuck with all this. This could cause issues. I found a way around it before, but I don't remember what I did. All right. So let's jump back over to side nav because that's all we need. We just need the reference to the side navs. Yeah. Oh, actually. Yeah, let's do it. So let's go to side nav. Let's change side nav to a class component. So up the top, we'll do component. And then we'll change this to class component. So we'll delete the export default props fat arrow, everything behind the first curly bracket. So it just looks kind of like that. And then we'll do class side nav extends component. and then curly brackets, render function, and then we'll leave that curly bracket there, and then we'll go through and indent everything, and then we'll do a closing curly bracket. And then at the end, we'll do export default side nav. And I'll do a quick, I guess we can't really test other than if it doesn't error out, because we can't see it yet. We'll have to change inside of our render, instead of props, it'll need to be this dot props. And I have to do a quick sanity check, make sure it didn't blow up. So looks all right.
What do you mean in a class component? Why is it this props?
Because now props is a property on that class. The functional component props is passed in through parameters
Gotcha.
or through an argument. All right, then we'll do on our UL, we'll do ref equals curly brackets, and we'll pass it an anonymous function that will get the element passed to it, and we'll say this dot side nav equals the element. And then we'll do a component did mount. And in component did mount, we'll do console.log side nav ref. And that should be this dot side nav.
Can you please come back to the UL you changed? Oh, it's there.
And what is that reference doing?
I'll show you in a second.
Oh, I still have my
Yeah, that's why I got that. Yeah, I forgot to.
Good. So what we should see is in our console, our side nav ref, we should actually see a DOM element reference to our UL. Okay, so we can actually see we have the actual DOM element that is our side nav. That's what ref in React does for you. Ref takes a callback function, when that function is called, it passes the element. So then we're taking that element and saving it to a property on our class, so then we can then use it elsewhere in our component. Now we have a full DOM reference to that element. It's useful for doing like audio, canvas, all kinds of stuff like that, where you have to have a reference to the element to manipulate it. So now that we have a reference to our UL, we should be able to do the initialization code, which will be in did mount. We'll say this dot instance equals material m dot side nav side lowercase n side nav dot init, and then we pass it in this dot side nav. And that should, in theory, initialize our side nav.
Right.
There we go. One thing I do want to do is, so and all the links should work and everything. I don't know why my mouse is stuck in this weird mode it's in, but whatever. Sign out click, sign out click, sign out click. Sweet. One thing I want to do is I want to center this button, so we could use CSS for that. Is everybody's menu working okay?
No, I'm getting this, React does not recognize the D-Link CA target top.
Data dash target. Data dash target. That would be in nav.js. On the link inside of nav wrapper, the second link.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be data.target.
Oh, data.
Dash target.
Yep.
So I'm getting a can I read property init of undefined in the side nav component? Can you go back to it? It's not.
Did you do capital N on side nav?
Yes.
There's your problem.
Jeez.
Dude, hell yeah.
Years.
It's gonna be crowded.
Yeah, I go there every year. They close the strip down.
All right. How about now? Everybody's side nav working now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're all good?
It says this stuff pops that render links is not a function.
Yeah, so
This dot props dot render links.
It's not a function, it's like side nav.
Check your side. Did you pass it in? What'd you call it when you passed it into side nav?
Same thing.
You guys get an Airbnb or a hotel?
out like in next to strip or
Yeah,
like
so-
Next to Planet Hollywood.
Probably fine. What did you call it when you passed it in?
It's like right next to
Render
Bellagio.
things. Well, here you're calling that function before you're passing.
So you're
it in.
right there.
So you're just passing in an array,
Is it a condo?
which could be fine, but then you just don't call it on the other side.
Two bedrooms, self
Yeah,
bed.
it's- I get it.
It's in like a condo or apartment complex.
I was calling it a book.
Like
Like,
hotel slash.
my book doesn't exist on this thing. That makes sense.
Oh, how many
Side nav
times
and
you
nav.
get? Yeah. Just
The only
the
call
here.
All right, so one's is working. All right, guys, if you want to get through it, we don't have that much time left. So if you want to talk, I have plenty of other stuff I could be doing. All right, everybody good?
Yeah.
All right, so the last little bit of cleanup is I want to center on our side nav. I want to center the sign out button. So to make that easy inside of nav.js on our li that holds our little sign out button, I'm going to put a class name on it of sign dash out. And then in our nav CSS, or SCSS, I'm going to do dot side nav, and then inside of side nav class, I'm going to do dot sign dash out, and it should be as easy as text align center. Well, if you still need it, I'll come right back. I just want to make sure that worked. Cool.
Shoot at the nav.js file.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah.
Anybody still need the CSS file?
Yes, please.
All we did is add
Here.
add the class name there.
That's it.
No / though. It's just a class name.
Oh, just like that?
Yep.
Okay.
That should work. In theory.
Yeah.
Anyways, there you go.
Can you come back please into the
Yeah.
side nav?
To side nav? Into the regular nav?
Yeah.
All we did was add this class name here.
Yes, add class.
I don't know.
No. Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, anything.
Okay, so I should add that too.
Yeah.
Scott,
Okay.
that
Yeah, I had written.
problem when I change it to the regular size, it's actually didn't like anything.
Huh?
I have still mobile output.
What now?
So when I have this,
So now the second
when I go to mobile side, like that, when I go like that, it's like that.
It's just your screen size.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you.
Uh-huh.
you said it's such a true.
All right, all good? Everybody get their sign out button centered? So once again, it should look something like this. You can, of course, add more styling and do fancier stuff with the side nav. We're not going to spend any more time on it than that. And one thing to keep in mind, too, guys, I know like most of the stuff you built with me and stuff, we always use Materialize. What's more important than the styling is the functionality we're building. Because I just use Materialize because I'm familiar with it and it's quick and easy and it doesn't look like complete ass. But remember, you can put any styling on top of all these concepts you want. And, you know, rearrange the HTML elements and all that stuff in any way you need for what your layout and design is. What's, like I said, more important is just the concepts that we're, you know, using. Just in case anybody's hating Materialize. I don't know how you could because it's beautiful, but. All right, I'm going to do side nav. I'm going to clean up the console log and component did mount. We don't need that any longer. And like pulling side nav out to its own component probably wasn't overly necessary with the way we have it right now. But if we ever wanted to do fancier stuff with our side nav, we have a nice clean area to work in because our nav component's already got quite a bit going on in it already. So kind of helps isolate the side nav from the main nav. All right, now that we have all of that, let's go ahead and commit and say we got our nav stuff working. So over in the terminal, I'm going to do git status. Everything looks good. Remember, guys, too, in this project, you got to be really careful which folder you're in when you're doing your git commands. You want to make sure you're in the root directory when you do them. Either that, or instead of using git add period, you're using git add -- all. So I am in my root directory, so I'm just going to do git add period, git commit -m.
What was the branch of
User auth.
We're on user auth.
So even I already merged it, I still can.
Yeah, if you're still on the user auth branch, what branch are you on?
I changed back to the master, but I'm gonna be on.
Just create a new, either switch back to user, or don't switch back to user auth, or I think it'll take it with you.
Okay, I'm just gonna create a new branch.
Just create a new branch, keep it safe. If you deleted the old one, then you could create a new one and it doesn't matter. But since you probably didn't delete user auth, I think it'll pull the changes over, but not 100% sure on that.
Before we push, does it matter right now if we leave auth as false or true in the default and then render links on it?
No.
Okay.
It's gonna be dynamics very shortly,
Okay.
or not very, but shortly.
You need a break this for a bit.
Okay.
So add commit, and we'll say completed initial nav bar and side nav functionality. And once again, guys, as always, you can make your commit messages whatever you want.
You sure?
I am 100% sure.
I honestly want it to be just like yours.
There'll be no errors.
I don't know how a commit message could throw an error, but anything's possible.
We'll find a way.
I've done it.
The best one's when you forget to put the quote on it and it goes to the next line.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did.
Yeah. That one took me a long time to realize all you do is put the closing quote and hit enter. But... All right. Go ahead and push it to the whatever you got push origin, just in case our computers blow up. All right, so what we're going to do now is we'll build a sign up form. We're not going to do anything too fancy with it. We'll just do, some basic user information. We usually want to make the initial account creation as painless as possible for people. So we'll probably just take like their name, email, and like the password, confirm password, keep it very simple. And then later, if we want to get more information from them, we could have them like edit their profile or something. Plus, when they go to actually buy something, we'll have to get a shipping address from them, and we can do that at that time. I wouldn't necessarily get all that right out the gate. That's just my feeling for it. I hate long sign-in processes or sign-up processes personally. So, all right. So, in components, account, we do have a sign-in and sign-up page. Did we set up the routing? We did. Why was that stuff not showing up? Oh, because we weren't going to it. Hey, Federico. We do need to put the nav defaults. Or the auth defaults, I mean. So we can see our sign in and sign up links. So in our nav.js, inside of render links, we'll change auth back to false, just so we can see the link so we don't have to keep typing it into the URL. So we should be able to go to sign in. Okay, we can sign in, sign up. All right, everybody got sign up working out for them? So, close some of this. We got a lot going on here. Sign up. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna need inputs. We're gonna need to be able to render some inputs.
What is it?
So inside of general, we'll create a new folder, and we'll call it form. And inside of form, we'll make a new file called input.js. So we're just going to kind of keep this simple, kind of the standard thing we normally do with these. So we'll just create a functional component, import React from React. Everyone's with me, right? Anybody need in a second? Everyone's good? Okay. And I'll do export defaults. And then I'm going to destructure my props. And then I'm going to return a div and it will be an input, and below it will be a label. All right, and then for the props, we'll pass in what all we're going to get. We're going to get size, label. What other information do we need? We'll get all the input information. Size, label, input. We'll get the metadata, and from the metadata, we'll pull off touch. Is it touch or touched?
Touch.
With an ED, right?
Yeah.
Touched and error. Size, label, input. Type. So we'll throw a type in there. Size, label, input, type. And then for size, we'll default that. So we'll say equals.
Any space holder?
Huh?
Any space holder? You don't need? No?
Placeholder, he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh, placeholder? No, I'm not going to use placeholder. Size, S12 to default. Type will default to text. All right, that should be pretty good to get us at least going. So then on our div, we'll do a class name, curly brackets, backticks. We'll have class name of column, and then $ curly brackets size. And for the input type, we'll change that to curly brackets type. And then on input, we'll do curly brackets dot 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 input to deconstruct that object. I'm going to default all mine to auto complete is off. We might want to be able to set that sometimes. So let's go ahead and add that to our props list up here. So we'll say auto complete equals off by default, but if someone passes us something else, then we could turn it on. So I'm going to say autocomplete equals curly brackets autocomplete. What else? What type? Oh, no, name will already be there. We do want to give our input an ID, so we'll say ID equals input.name. And then we want to change our label HTML4. We want to change that to curly brackets and be input.name. And then inside the label, we'll do curly brackets label. The ID and the HTML4 connect the label with the input. So that way, when you click on the label, it functions how it's supposed to. If you leave out the ID and the HTML4, then when you click on the label, you won't be able to click on your input. It'll cause you pain and heartache. Trying to figure out why that is. That looks like, oh, we need on our div, we need a class name of input dash filled. I think it's input filled. Sounds right. And then we'll do a what do we want to do here? I want to do a div. I'm going to do it with a class name of input dash error. This is something that we'll use internally. I just made that up. And then we'll give it red dash text, and then text dash darken 2. And then inside of set div, we'll do curly brackets, and then we'll do
Is it text dash darken 2 or red dash darken 2?
text dash darken 2. And then we'll do touched and error. Should be at least a good jumping off point, a nice, pretty robust input that we could reuse over and over again because we're going to have a lot of inputs. So if we need to like add and modify this a little bit, we can. But that should give us a good jumping off point. Anybody still need a second? Everyone's good?
Just give me some more seconds.
Close.
Thank you.
All right, all good? All right, so back over in sign up, we will import curly brackets from Redux form, and from Redux form we will get field and Redux form. And then we will also import input from bracket directory general /form/input. And that'll be enough to get us started. We're gonna need Redux here too, so I'm gonna go ahead and add import curly brackets connect from React Redux. We're not gonna use it right now, but we'll just put it here so it's ready to go. And then down at the bottom, we'll change our export default to connect. We'll pass it null and an empty object. And then we'll call the function it returns. And inside of that, we'll do Redux form, call that, pass that an object. And we'll say form is equal to sign dash up, the form ID. And then Redux form returns a function that we will immediately call, and we'll pass it sign up.
So, will you be going to more like Redux later?
Yeah, when we actually start using it.
Okay.
All right, and then inside of sign up, we'll throw in a form. We don't need an action. And then in the form, we'll do a row. And we'll do a test here. So we'll just do a couple quick inputs. We'll do, field. Name equals first name. Size equals S6. Label equals first name. And component equals curly brackets inputs. And then I'm going to copy that and make one for last name. So I'll change that to last name, size S6, and make that last name or surname or whatever you guys want to call it. Second name, family name. All right, so we'll just do that so we can test. We've written a lot of code without running anything, so just really want to test before we run any more. See if mine works. See what we should be seeing if it works. It did not work. You must pass a component to the function returned by connect. Instead, receive default props.
You haven't put input anywhere, have you?
Yeah, component.
Yeah, component input there.
Oh, that's why. Lowercase that.
Redux. That should have been.
Oh, what happened?
That should have worked. Why did it not work? Unless function returned by connect instead receive default props.
Uncode type error is not a function.
Shouldn't matter.
You don't have nothing in curly brackets. It should be empty now. Export default on the bottom.
Yeah, it should be empty. Is that not working? Yes.
You don't have to do any reducers, anything. Like
We did all that already. That's not the problem. This should not matter. Oh, that's why I normally do it the more written out way. So I try and get for trying to do it. Sign. Redux form. Sign up equals Redux form. Form equals. That's a good sign. Sign up. And then connect. All object. Should be nothing changed. Yeah. What? Why is that doing that? What am I forgetting?
I click that little thing on the error, it says browser J's, tells you the line or something. And it says something like throw error.
I'm not having an error.
Uncop.
The error.
This one.
Oh, you got the input. Yeah. Did you change it to false? The auth?
That would have nothing to
connect
do with
both
it.
the props or what? How you call that? Oh, how you
Connect. Sign up. Redux form. Redux form. Is this like a different version of Redux form or something? Or what the fuck?
No.
Input.
Redux form 8.
It's not even input. It's like really kind of.
I'm sure I'm just did something like really stupid.
Is it this? Input.js?
No, JS. I just did it.
You just.
I like this part. I would use this part.
He's Jewish.
As long as it's not close.
Is there a Jews in Ukraine?
You cast the
Yeah.
sign up?
I didn't know.
There's so many things here.
Looks good.
Like most Jews
It's
come
funny.
from Russia. They
Chill, man. How are you?
Alright.
Yeah.
They put all the
Most Jews in Russia live in Ukraine.
what the flippity flap, it's the exact same, why is that not working?
Yes. And people know that Russian or country.
At home. Better, just wanna do some exercises, so.
Like that's actually a punishment.
Oh, this one?
Like just doing squats like that.
They're both times.
Yeah, like they'll do like 50 of those, and he said to.
You should give your parents a thumbs up. Alright.
How'd you do in fantasy?
I won that,
One league won it?
yeah. I got lucky, because girls.
And you see where you're so like,
Yeah,
light,
early.
you know, you
Yeah,
can't-
James Conner, we didn't play both weeks in the finals.
Yeah.
So I won by like 10 points, but our finals is 2 weeks. So, less luck involved, right? So you play that one guy 2 weeks.
Hey
in a
Chris,
row.
are you getting the air too?
Yeah, so
Are you getting the air too?
my first week, I scored 22 points from him, so that helped me a lot.
Interesting.
If I'm the only one that hasn't
I
done
won that
the
one,
air,
he did it wrong.
I'm probably the only one that's, or probably the only one that's installed today, so.
The league like the last like 2
Huh.
years.
Yeah, he won those.
Are you-
And he honestly had a much better team.
I mean, I'm the only one that assumed installed.
Exactly, you just gotta get lucky.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
That is unlikely the problem, but might have to result of that.
I didn't make either one.
Create new
Like I was
configure
like, I was
function.
thread on each, like 5 points.
Am I home?
I didn't make the last one, like,
I just keep on reinstalling the driver.
Oh,
Like
that's what it was.
literally nothing else other than reinstalling it. Sometimes like 5 minutes and shut off, but after like three times I reinstalled it, now it works most times. Every once in a while it'll shut off, shut back on, but it's really great. Yeah, I don't really get
I'm
it.
more excited for the playoffs, man. So
Oh, yeah.
excited, man.
It's good it works,
So
though.
they give you-
So you're
Cafe ready.
Yeah.
That kid Shane? I thought you were gonna grow it up, figure it out. But she didn't like it.
No, I just. You gotta want to just be on your best when you see the first one. It's just like, that wasn't really.
It wasn't cutting
It wasn't really cutting
You still on your fasting thing?
it.
Why you
Yeah,
ask, man? Like,
Doctor was watching.
During the holidays, it was great because I could pig out during holidays, but then I could do like 18-hour fasts.
That actually was a YouTube video about a guy who ate one meal a day for 30 days. And he said like the first couple of days, the hunger pains were too brutal. And then after a while, your stomach gets used
Really?
healthy?
to it. What?
Is that even healthy? Like you eat a lot of snacks or something like that?
You gotta ask Dr. Michael right here. He'll let you know.
I'm gonna tell you something else though. My mom's cousin was talking about a family party and he's like into all sorts of crazy like health things and he was telling me how he does like hydrotherapy. How he shoves like a tube on his ass and pours water in there. Get like his colon clean.
All of this.
He's like 50s or something.
Oh, see, I can understand that. I've had issues, you gotta worry about that. I'm almost there right now.
And then like I thought it was like
like a colonic.
yeah, it's like colonic, but like some people don't pills, other people they shove something up their ass and like shoot water.
Oh, it's actually really good.
Oh, I
Yeah,
did do that,
That's what
but it wasn't.
he does like he was like
bad,
6
it was
straps here. He had
something
the same
else.
thing where
But powder that's like inside your
all
system.
this
And the body is like, so
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, I never did like one of the worst, the worst. Once I had to go under, but I don't even remember.
Like on the roots of
Is
it.
that people or?
That's weird though, right? So they click it, but then it.
Dude, and then they're inside and it's like, honestly, it feels like you gotta explode.
Just like get bacteria or
It's just feels
I don't know.
unbearable.
Yeah.
I would probably be good to like flush it.
My ass, because I'm like so one way
Better be. I don't wanna hear a two-way street.
After you're saying you could do it 12 hours to like
I think you have to do some kind of special treatment because you're getting rid of like good bacteria as well as bad bacteria from the flush. But
Reduce rose form. Reduce
I've heard like other people that you have to do like a 6 days.
We gotta talk about that.
Yeah, 6 days. And make sure you're staying hydrated.
Well, my friend did that for this year's fast for 6 days. Every day he would drink tea and then might have some sort of.
But you can put the reducer and former reducer, now this change the reducer on the bottom, so it's not gonna be, you have to put as form reducer.
Oh,